Right. Hello, welcome. Today we are going to have a very serious talk about why you don't want to make your decisions. And by the end of this class, you are going to make a goddamn decision. I don't care what it is. If it's about what's for dinner, it will be made. Okay? Okay. Today you are going to learn why making decisions feels so hard sometimes, right? And why you have crazy desire to just have someone else make all your decisions for you. And finally, how to start making your decisions on your own right now. So we're going to cover all of that. First, I want to tell you right now, in case nobody else has today, you are a human being. You are completely normal. Of course, you don't like to make decisions. None of us fucking do. That's why successful people like Steve Jobs would choose to wear the same outfit like every single day. They would eat the same meals because having to make too many decisions gives us decision fatigue. It's a real thing. Look it up. When you have decision fatigue over the tiny shit, you will lose complete cognitive motor function over the big shit, right? And what I mean to say is that when it comes time to talk about the serious and important stuff in your life, you feel totally out of control and afraid. You freak the fuck out. You panic and bail. You avoid and distract. You hide and you worry. Because what's happening there is you don't have a decision-making process in place at all for yourself. You haven't planned ahead. You haven't put anything there. Nothing there for the small or the large decisions or the medium. Yeah. You're fatigued and afraid. So you're not only leaving dozens of tiny decisions open-ended and undecided all day long, you're also leaving the big and important decisions about your future, your values, your purpose, and who you want to be on this earth open-ended as well. You aren't deciding on anything because you, my friend, have what I'm going to call decision disease. I just ate my hair. So, decision disease. It's an inability to make decisions. It's a rotting state of mind where you have left way too many decisions open-ended and have chosen to remain stuck in a discontented place. Decision disease. I made that up. I absolutely love it. The truth is, we need mad help when it comes time to make our decisions. We need mad help. All right. It's 2006 again. But we do, though. We all need help. Nothing's wrong with you because you need help deciding. Nothing. If other people make you feel weird because you struggle with making decisions, then they are lying to you that they don't struggle too. We all have human brains, and our brains cannot and will not be objective and of sound mind all on their own. They refuse. It just does not exist unless you become some kind of enlightened master monk peacock. And those people are so rare. Even just planning this online class for you guys, I had to chase my brain around the house like a damn toddler, right? All day long yesterday. I was like, I'd be like, stop, sit. Nope, don't look at your phone. Don't go get a cookie. Stay. Brain just wanted to be like, no, I can't. Yeah. And that's what they do, right? Because I'm normal and I'm healthy, and so are you. Our brains are train wrecks of electricity that will either make your life miserable or fucking incredible if you know how to manage it. All of that depends on your ability to make decisions. You can't make your life incredible when you have decision disease, right? When someone has decision disease, that is a sign they need the help, right? And it's really okay to need help, everyone. I get so much help now in my own life. It doesn't make me any weaker, doesn't make me more flawed. It just makes me have the life of my absolute dreams. I had to burp. So let's talk. What is a decision? A decision is the way we process our thoughts. It's literally just that. So if you want to get good at making decisions, you have to get really good at processing your thoughts. Because a decision is just a thought that you choose to think in the moment. It's instantaneous. It's a sentence in your brain. That's all a decision is. When people say they need more time to decide, or that they're still thinking about a decision they have to make, or they need to talk with people before they can make the decision, they are stroking the furry wall, folks. They are pulling your goddamn leg. They are speaking with their diseased train wreck brain, right? And it just shows me that they're in this place of decision disease. That's hard to say. This is how easy and instantaneous it is to make a decision. Red or yellow? Yellow. Boom. Done. Class over. You're welcome. Most of our daily decisions, they're not between red and yellow, right? It's not the rainbow we're dealing with. But that does not mean that any of the decisions you are making are more difficult or more complicated than choosing between two motherfucking colors, right? They are not. Every decision is flatline neutral. There aren't harder or easier decisions. There aren't complicated or simple decisions. There's just decisions, neutral. It's all the same. That's a myth to believe some decisions are scarier than others. Nope, you just aren't managing the sentences in your brain if you believe that. You aren't seeing what's really true. Because what's really true is all decisions are the same. They're a thought in your mind. The only reason you would make the decision hard or scary is because you don't want to look at what making that decision will bring up, what it will unearth in your mind. You would rather not see it. So if you don't choose, you never have to go in and look. I'm going to say that a little differently now because I want you to hear it. Tell your brain to sit and stay right now. Whenever you are faced with making a decision that you believe is more complicated or difficult than red or yellow, it's just because you don't want to look at what's happening inside of your mind. You don't want to go walk through the haunted house. You think it's scary. And when you avoid looking at what's happening in your mind, you are signing the dotted line in your own blood, right? You're giving away all of your confidence, all of your empowerment, all of your control over to the circumstances of your life. And that is scary. That's miserable. That's garbage can city. And I will say, side note, it is mostly women that do this without even realizing it. We can all do it across all genders, but men are socialized how to make more decisions, right? Men are taught how. They're socialized to have their own back. They are groomed to be confident. Everything around them supports their confidence. Because for a few hundred years now, we've been living in a patriarchy, right? Men are allowed to be confident and in control. Women are not. But I've just recently decided we are now. So spread the word. Women are allowed to be confident and in control. And they should be. Spread the word. Burn like a brush fire. That will burn the patriarchy down. All right. Sounds good. It is imperative that you learn how to start making your own decisions. Your livelihood, your future, all of your relationships depend on it. You thought this would be a cute little class where you figure out your little answer, But as it turns out, this is the most important 45-minute conversation you will likely have this week, this month, and this year. Okay? Women, come get your control back. There are no rules. The world wants you to have your confidence. It would help everyone around you to be more confident. You have been socialized to not be confident. So the world needs you, woman, and everyone else to be confident and in your power. That's not a bad thing. That is a thing you should have, and the world wants you to have it. Everyone wants you to have that. Okay? Let's continue. Your decisions are not static, right? They are not in 2D. They are alive and in motion because decisions are vectors. They are the directions that we have the privilege to choose for ourselves. That is our privilege. So when you are completely seized up with decision disease, it's because you're too scared to pick a direction. You are not respecting this privilege you have in your human life. Your one time being human. You're pooping on it. Like, oh, I'm just going to poop all over my power and purpose. You're too scared to move forward, so you never decide. And I understand why you've been so scared. It makes sense. Right where you were. I'm just like one step ahead of you. But you don't have to be scared anymore. No one wants you to be scared. That's a trash way to live. It's never the decision that's holding you back, ever. It's not whatever the decision is about that makes you feel stuck or paralyzed. It can only ever be you holding yourself back because you're not making a decision. You're not choosing a direction. It's your responsibility. So if you want to learn this skill, it's your job to do it. It's your job to go figure out, go be taught how to make a decision. Go learn. Go find out. How do you process your thoughts? How do you make this decision-making system? How do you put it in place? What works for you? Because your train wreck brain will always be right beside you. You need something. Your brain is not going anywhere. There's no escaping it, right? If you've escaped your brain, you're dead. So it's also your job to choose the direction that your life goes in, right? That is a choice. Life isn't happening to you. It just feels like it's being decided for you because you have the decision disease right now. And I don't mean you need to like close your eyes right now, look away and point at a map. Just be like, there we go. There's my direction. No, we're not gambling our direction. We're not playing Risk. We want you to powerfully choose, intentionally choose, purposefully and carefully choose with your whole heart, mind, body, and soul all connected and on board with you as you decide. You will know the difference between closing your eyes and pointing and showing up like, whoa, superhero status. So we have to get you to that place and then you make your decisions, right? That's how you make a motherfucking decision. So how do you get there? How do you make a decision on purpose with power? Before I started making all the big decisions in my own life, the ones that truly terrified me, first I had to spend some time learning how and why I had been making my decisions for the last 20 years. Like what was going on there? So that's what we're going to talk about now. This is the part where your brain is really like, ooh, I want other people to just decide for me. I'm a cute little girl, so make my decisions. Right? You know what I mean. After I say what I'm about to say to you, you will not want someone else making your decisions for you ever again. No, that's a terrible idea. Up until you decide how to make better decisions, hold on, there's a lot of meta there, so hold on. Up until you decide to figure out how to make better decisions, your decisions will remain 100% influenced by your past and your trauma, your social conditioning, right? Patriarchy, sexist city, all your people, your family, your partner, your friends, anyone you hang out with and around, and then all the identity defining groups that you were raised in. So this looks like religious groups, political groups, the income level you're used to, culture you're exposed to or not exposed to, all of that. Whenever you aren't the sole authority over your own damn decisions, right? When you're influenced instead by an authority outside of you, making a decision feels really hard. It doesn't matter if it's big or small. It all feels terrifying because you're like, first I have to consult with all of these many genres of policy, society, familiarity, and history before I can pick something. That's overwhelming. And that is what's unconsciously happening under the surface there. And this incites that terror you feel that's caused by the thought that there's such a thing as right or wrong, right? There's a right or wrong choice. I can't pick the wrong choice, so I better get this right. Think about how much pressure that feels emotionally on you. This is why you want someone to just tell you what's right or what's wrong. Because if it ends up being wrong, it's their fault. Cool. You know, you get to blame them. They're responsible for it. They picked. You're good. You don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to feel shame. So you're terrified you'll choose wrong. Here's the deal. These past influences do say there's a right or wrong choice. Like, bar none, they do not hide it. Clear right or wrong choices. If you're wrong, you're shunned from society. All of them. Your parents do. The government does. Religion definitely does, right? Even in politics, your friends, they're all giving you their awful, biased input about what you should do. And you're left even more lost and confused after that whole consulting process is over. It's never helpful. Raise your hand if it's ever been helpful. So you went out there thinking you would suddenly go get all this clarity and sound advice, but nope, not how it worked. That experience, hands down, that's fucking terrifying. I used to do it because all these old systems are so punishing. They are so judgmental. They're condemning. They are unforgiving. I've seen it with my own eyes. You don't have to convince me that that's not true. And it shows me, right, if you're in decision disease, that you aren't hearing yet or understanding yet what truly creates the clarity you want to feel. If you understood it, you would no longer be consulting. You'd no longer be going there for your answers, right? If you understood what created the clarity, you'd also see what would create the shame and the rejection that you don't want to feel, that you're afraid of you might feel. If you really understood all of that, your behavior would be different in how you make decisions. These are just more symptoms of decision disease. I probably could have found a cooler name now that I'm thinking about it. Decision disease. Like decision dystopia or decision diarrhea. I like that one. I actually used to get decision diarrhea because your gut and your mind are connected, like through this, like that's actually connected. So when your brain isn't managed, there it is. You can call it whatever you want. Have fun with it. When you make your decisions from this place of past influence alone, you will never have what you really need to create the results you want. You aren't even aware of what you're needing. It's not even in your realm of consciousness yet. If it was, you'd be going to get it. It's like a life-saving oasis. It's like water in a desert, right? You will always be left disappointed, unfulfilled, and confused because your method of deciding has left you completely without before you ever even began, right? That's your method. That's the source working within you. before you even begin. You need to change that. Because I'll tell you right now, as much as you can love certain parts of these past influences, you can love certain parts of these mental constructs of your identity or who you think you are, you can want to keep some parts of them. Most of the time, these stories that we're holding on to so tightly are just fucking us up and slowing us down. And every single one of them is made up. I often like to think about how countries are not real. They're made up, right? They don't exist. We all just play pretend and maintain that they do exist, even though it's an invisible line, right? And the same is true with these mental constructs, these stories about who you are right now, about how you make your decisions. All of that's made up by the current sentences in your mind, and they can be changed at any time. The past has zero hold over us. I wish more people knew this, because really what's happening is we think the past has a hold of it over us, so we let it have a hold over us. But it doesn't have any oomph. Even if we've been thinking a thought for 50 years plus, we can stop choosing it today. Because all we're ever working with here are our current thoughts. That's it. That's the only clay we have. Everything else, it disintegrated into thin air. So our past influences have a lot of this going on. Look at the history we are living in right now, at this moment. These are historical times. That's what everyone says, right? Unprecedented, historical. We're living in history. The root cause of these times and all the times leading up to this point is fear. We don't want to keep making our decisions from fear. It's a terrible idea. It just begets more shit, right? It just creates more reasons for us to be afraid. That is what happens. Fear will never take you where you want to go. It will never make you feel how you want to feel. Only love will. And for people that are caught in decision disease, they have yet to encounter love. What they think love is just fear with a mask on, right? Love moves. It gets shit going. Once you start feeling it, again, it's that oasis. Why would you go out to the desert when you've got an oasis filled with abundance and fruit available to you? You're going to love. People who call themselves realistic. I like to throw my head back and evil scientists laugh when people tell me they're realistic or to be realistic, because I know the truth. Being realistic or practical or whatever, all of that is subjective. What's practical to one person is impossible to the next. What's conservative to one person is offensive to the next, right? Nothing is real but the sentences you decide to think in your head. That's it. We make it so complicated trying to get everyone on the same page of practical and realistic, right? We try to define these terms and so we can all live by them so we're safe. But the truth is, we all live in different universes. It's just a waste of our goddamn time to concern ourselves with these semantics. They don't mean anything. So if you're choosing the story of I need to do what's practical or secure or realistic, you are playing by someone else's lame-ass made-up rules. You can make up your own rules, the ones that feel right for you. You can become the authority of your own universe. That's my next book title. The minute I learned how to make decisions for myself, right? And I'm still learning. I'm like 5 years in and I'm still getting the hang of it. I'm still getting my training reels going. The minute I decided to create my own rules, I saw how everyone else's rules of realism and practicality and the story of how it all will go if you're not careful, all of that was keeping me small. It was keeping me away from what I wanted. It wasn't helping me out. It was hurting me. So I just said, no, thank you. Thank you for offering me practicality, but no, thank you. You can think I'm crazy and reckless and dumb. I don't give a fuck. I decided to create my own version of what realistic is, which is a reality in which I live the life of my dreams. I go get what I want. I don't wait for permission or safety or practicality to help me out. If the help's not coming there. I know how to create what I want, right? I work and report to myself now. I do what I love. I do whatever I want with my time. I go where I want. I'm in charge completely. That sounds pretty fucking realistic to me. Sounds good. I'll take it. This is where we want to be careful because your electricity train wreck brain sounds so convincing to you. It's like, oh, no. That's dangerous. It's really much safer to be practical. Don't listen to Alicia. She's crazy. Bitch, no. We are all hurtling through a horrifying reality right now, whether we take the risks or not. Okay? It is not safe either way. That's an illusion. Why tell ourselves the misery that we call practicality is the only safe choice when we could equally decide to tell ourselves that joy and internal freedom and being in control of your life is the new safe choice? Do you see what I'm saying? We're also making a lot of our decisions from a place of lack. This drives me crazy. You drive me crazy. I just can't see. Because I did it for so long. I was so in this place of scarcity, so in this place of like victimhood. Oh, it just didn't work out, so I'm stuck. And I hate when I see other people doing this because it's really me looking back in time and hating that I did it for so long. Right? And this comes in the form of assuming we'll fail, assuming we'll lose, assuming we won't end up having enough, so we better just not try, right? We just continue to decide that we won't have enough, right? There's a lack. And then like a math equation, that's exactly what it is. We fail ourselves ahead of time. We make sure we prove that true. Doesn't matter if it's about money, time, energy, work, love. We are deciding if we are in lack or if we are abundant. We all have such a scarcity mindset around the most common things in our lives. And again, it disguises itself as realistic and practical and secure. The only way you will ever start winning and having more than enough of everything will be when you decide to stop choosing to think that you don't have enough right now, that you can't do it right now, that you can't start now. You just stop choosing those sentences. They're all a lie. You can do whatever you want. Just try it. You're deciding right now whether what you want or don't want will happen. Think about that. You are deciding right now whether what you want or don't want will happen. And so many of you are deciding that what you don't want will happen. Think about that. I decided what I didn't want would happen year after year after year. And I'm like, damn, I still don't have what I want. And it's because I had to learn how to decide to think about what I do want right now, not later. So you're deciding how your future will be with the sentences you're choosing in your mind right now. It gets a little advanced there, and this isn't a concept I bring in with my clients until a few weeks in. And it's a mind blower. I love it. I'm like, look at where your future is. Look at how you create it. Oh my God. The real neuroses is people keep choosing to have the same exact amount of money. The same exact shitty schedule, right? The same exact problems that they had last year. These are decisions. If you want more for yourself, you have to learn how to decide to have more. You have to learn how to make that declaration and that commitment and then follow through. When we make our decisions from a place of lack, like, oh, I gotta save my money, so I can't have that thing, even though I really want it, you're just creating more lack because you're fueling that story in your brain while you do that, that you can't have what you want. And your brain, like a drug dog, will go sniff out evidence for how that is absolutely true. You're right. You can't have that thing you want because you just decided you couldn't. Right? So when you get to that point later on, you're still going to be saving. You're still not going to have enough. You're still not going to go get what you want because you haven't found new evidence. You haven't decided differently. Do you see how that works? What if you just decided right now that you can have what you want? What does that create for you? What if you decided that you do have the money and the time and the ability to go get it all? If I can do it, you can do it, honey. That is available to you. Go fucking get it. Are any of you familiar with Abraham Hicks? I'm a big fan. So they talk about how whatever is happening now, right now, is like a piece of old chewed gum. Just because it's here right now doesn't mean it's going to have to stay here. Doesn't mean it has to stay the same next week. So we used to do this as kids, but most adults forget that you can imagine a different future for yourself. And that's where a different future is born, is in your imagination. You can grab a brand new piece of gum and start chewing on that right now. But if you keep chewing the old gum, the same gum, flavorless, shitty gum, you will keep having more of what you already have. It's only until you use your mind and decide to chew on something new that things will finally change. So how many of you want your problems solved overnight? Who here wants that? How many of you want to get rich really quick? How many of you just want to take a pill that relieves all your mental and emotional pain immediately? How many of you want your success and your happiness to be super easy and flawless and effortless and fast? Okay. You're fucking yourself over here because you're making your decisions with a cheat sheet in mind. You want a shortcut. It's slimy. It is not how the human experience actually works. It's not how it's designed. It's not how it's supposed to work. It's slimy. Okay? And we don't actually want that shit. If we could have all of that, our life would be so boring. Imagine a movie, the opening scene. Okay, here's a shortcut. Oh, now we're at the end. Sorry, you got to take your popcorn to go. You missed all the juicy stuff, all the good stuff, right? The real thing, the real life experience that you want to experience is hard and gritty, and it takes resilience and real time and real money and real effort to learn how to make a decision and get really good at it. That's the best part, right? You can keep trying to cheat your way to happiness and cut corners and find shortcuts, or you could just decide today that you want to do the work, right? You actually do want to take the time. You want the full juicy experience. You want the twists and the plot turns and the emotions. You want the highs and the lows. It's okay to want all of that, right? You can figure it out. You can choose the vector that will ultimately create your lasting, delayed happiness, right? It's not instant, and that's okay. It's delayed and you worked for it, and it makes it so much more delicious, so much more fulfilling because you did that work. You feel rewarded. You feel proud of yourself. You're like, damn, I went through that juicy plot line and I created this. The shitty, cheap kind runs out real quick. We don't want that. We want luxurious, high quality life. right? Not the knockoff. Okay, we're about to wrap up here, so check this out. How you do one thing is how you do everything. That is why coaching is so impactful, because what we're doing each week is we take one thought, one situation, one at a time. We grab a, whatever they're called, a magnifying glass, set it on the table, we zoom in, and we analyze just one thing every week. And the more awareness we see and we have over how we do one thing gives us the full picture of how we do everything. So we do it here, we can do it everywhere. So how you make one decision is how you make every decision. Your decision-making process will determine the experience you have as a human on this earth. If you have a shitty decision-making process, of course you're going to have a shitty experience. It's not rocket science. Well, rocket science is cool too, though. Your decisions, your thoughts, are how you create all of your results and how you will determine what your future will be. Every time we make a decision, it goes through the current decision-making process that we have right now. And all of us, just like stock in our brain, have a faulty, flawed, outdated decision-making process. It's wired right there into our brain. And that's why coaches get coached, right? We have decision disease sometimes too. So to help you start identifying your own decision disease, this is the kind of shit we will say while we're in it. This is how it presents in your brain, the sentences. Got a little tickle in my throat today. Yeah. So I need to take some time to think about it. That won't work for me. I know, I just know it won't work for me, right? Now it's not really a good time. It's not the right time for me to start. Things really need to calm down before I can start that. I can't do that. I'm gonna try it on my own for a bit. I think I've got it. That's a shortcut alert. Shortcut alert. I don't need help. I'm really doing good. I'm really happy and good. Yeah. Yeah, and the free stuff, that's good enough. I'm good with free stuff. I've got all I need, right? You know you're in decision disease when you are thinking, I don't know, right? I didn't write that one down, but I want to mention it. Whenever you think, I don't know how, I don't know what to do, I don't know I don't know what comes next, I don't know what I should do. That one sentence fuels our insecurity like gasoline with a flame. With my clients, they're not allowed to tell me I don't know. If they give it to me, I say, all right, try again. You do know. Because if thoughts are the same thing as a decision, then you make your decisions in your mind. That's where it happens. That's it. You can't make them anywhere else. Even if you consult all day long, you are still making the decision in your mind, right? Google doesn't tell you. Nobody can ever go into your mind and decide for you. Think about that. You're always making decisions every single day, big and small. Just sometimes you are deciding to be stuck and confused and to not know. Decisions are also made in an instant. They don't require a certain set of time. They don't require a safety plan in place before you can move forward. They don't require an insurance policy. There's no such thing as a right or wrong decision. There's only the decision you make. And the types of decisions you've been choosing to make do not create massive transformation of everything you could ever want. If these decisions could, they would have already done that for you by now. Instead, these decisions keep you the same exact person you were last year. There's no risk, there's no discomfort here, and there's no change that has to happen in your thoughts, right? That's why your brain keeps these around. It's like, we don't want to change. Screw that. The one reason we give in to our scared brain and we let it bully us and keep us here keep choosing things for ourselves that we don't want, is because we don't know how to have our own back, right? Once we make the choice, we don't know how to have our back. We're afraid we'll be really mean to ourselves after we make a decision. That will create a torture chamber in our mind. And that's for good reason too, because we are really mean to ourselves if we don't have a managed mind. We don't trust ourselves, right? We don't know how to have our own backs unless we've been taught. But we want to learn how. We'd like that. That would be nice. We want that experience of being able to decide confidently and then keep deciding to have our own back for everything that happens next. That's what we really want. If you truly want the future that you can see for yourself right now, and I know you can see it, right? I know you want it. It's right there in the front of your mind. Sometimes it keeps you up at night because you're really scared you might never have it, that you might never change, right? And it's because of these decisions you're making. And you won't have it if you keep making these decisions. If you really want to commit to that future that you can see, the one that's fucking amazing and delicious, the one where everything is finally happening for you, right? Everything's working out. You have to change how you make your decisions. You have to choose new sentences, different thoughts, decisions that are a little scary and off your beaten path, right? Of familiarity and of comfort. And that's okay. Those decisions are usually the best ones. They take you to the most mind-blowing places, best plot twists. And we don't want to keep that magic away from ourselves for another second. Okay? All right. That's it. That's how you make a decision. Now, this is the part, come work with me, right? To hire me as your life coach. Because learning how to make high quality decisions for yourself and often with ease, it's going to require more than just this information you received today, right? It requires application, real time, going into the lab of your mind, the haunted house. It's not so scary. Unfortunately, this isn't the Matrix. We can't learn martial arts and thought work and French in a manner of a 1-minute download. But getting really good at making decisions can happen with practice and time and guidance from someone who can actually show you how to do it, right? I hope I made it obvious by now that we all need help deciding on these new sentences, right? Deciding on these new processes in our mind. All of us. I don't care who is walking around like they don't need help. They are lying to you. They have decision disease, and you have my permission to call them a liar and then stop feeling bad about yourself because you aren't a rare weirdo all by yourself on an island. Okay? This is something I've been professionally trained to help other people with, and yet I myself still get help, and I'm pretty good. I'm a fucking badass. Because when it is just us on our own, our brain is the slimiest lawyer. It's feeding all of these intricate lies, right? We need someone to back our brain into a corner and catch it in the act. And there's no shame in that. We can't remove ourselves from our brain. That will never happen. We are human. We need help. Once my clients sign up and make this commitment, on our first call, I teach this new decision-making process. They get to start using it immediately. And from there, we practice using it together every week because this process does need to be used with supervision. I can't stress this enough. Without the supervision, we'll just start using it as another way to beat ourselves up, to judge ourselves, to make ourselves miserable, to make ourselves wrong and unworthy of what we want. That's what our brain does. It's terrible. But learning how to make your decisions with the support of a coach clears up so much of this drama. It creates so much space in your life to bring in more of what you want. So by about week 18 or 19, you actually see that evidence of the coaching. You'll see the difference outside of you in your life. All of the things that you've been feeling from week 1, it will start to come into the world around you. It takes time. This is like 20 weeks in. And that's when you're just getting your feet under you, right? That's when you're just getting started. So I know at this point, you still have your faulty decision maker running and you still like being told what to do. So I'm going to do you a solid right now. All right. I'm going to make this very easy for you, my friend. Excuse me. Excuse me. Well, that's the best I can do. I'm going to give you some thoughts that you can decide to start thinking right now if you want, right? Again, it's impossible for anyone else to decide for you. You are in control of your brain. So I'm offering you these more helpful thoughts, but you have to choose to actually believe them, right? Right now is the perfect time to get started. My emotional health is worth more than anything, right? It's the foundation of my life. If I don't have my emotional health, I have nothing. Nothing matters without that, right? Coaching will transform my life. It works. I'm a badass and I am worthy of transformation and wellness and everything I want, right? Alicia can help me. Yes, she can. Yes, I can, right? I can help you hold the belief in the decisions and in the thoughts that you're not ready for yet. I hold on to them until you get to that point where you can bring them all in. That's my job. I will figure out how to trust myself. My dreams and my desires matter more than my excuses. My future is up for negotiation today, not later. I want to change and I can. I'm ready to commit to myself, to my growth, to my healing. While you're looking at these thoughts, I want you to think about where you want to be in your life and how that compares to where you are right now. If you keep approaching your day to day the same way you have been, a billion open decisions, they leave you spinning and burning out and overwhelmed, you will remain in that place of I don't know. You will remain stuck and confused. You will not be gaining confidence in that place. You'll be gaining insecurity and resentment, right? You will not find clarity anywhere else but inside of you. And life coaching is what gives us direct access to ourselves within, right? Christina Aguilera sang about it when I was young. The voice within. It's so funny to, without a coach in front of us, we avoid our inner voice. We avoid ourselves within like the plague. We have such an aversion to it. Or like a baby, like when you're trying to feed a baby on a spoon and they're like, we're like, I don't want to know any of my answers. I don't want to feed my soul happiness. No. But you're not an actual baby anymore. You're an adult now. Do you want to start approaching your day feeling confident and decided and empowered and in charge of your life? Do you want to start practicing having your own back, following through easily, building trust within yourself? Or do you want to keep being a baby and turning your head away from the richness of life? Like, no, I want to keep being confused. How frustrating must it be to want to feed your infant the nourishment they need, and they're like, no, I don't want to. Right? That is how frustrated your soul feels when it knows you can have everything you want and you're turning up your nose. So think about it. What space would you rather be in? An undecided and confused space or a certain and confident place? How would both of those feel? What would the difference be? And I know what space you want to be in. I know exactly how to help you create that space you want to be in. I've done it for myself over and over, and I continue to. And I've done it for dozens of clients and counting. So when you don't have to make decisions for yourself, you never have to find out if it was the right or wrong choice. You never have to actually move forward, deal with the consequences, and face yourself there. You never have to grow. But there's a catch. You also never get what you want. You waste your life and your time. You start to complain and resent everything. And it's no fun to be around you anymore because you're a big baby in a bad mood. So, what if you decided to start making new decisions today? Right? And the first decision that will help lead you there is deciding to book a consult, free consultation. Here's the thing, you only have to make one decision at a time. I think a lot of people assume if they make one decision right now, then they'll suddenly have to make every decision for the next 10 years at the exact same time. And there's no take backsies. It'll be set in stone through a binding contract in the state of New York, and they'll never be allowed to change their mind. Well, what if I regret it? And then what if I'm stuck? And what if it's the wrong choice? Ah! That's a mind without a coach. That's a mind without help. With a coach, you would see that that's not true. You'd have someone right there to say, down, girl, easy, easy, sit, sit. And then we could get right back to focusing on the only thing that needs to be focused on right now, which is the one next choice. That's all that matters. We just need the one next step ahead of you. We don't need to know anything else. No overwhelm, no contracts, no terror, right? And the one next step for you is learning how to manage your mind, learning a new system for making decisions that works. It's just one decision, right? It's a consult. You just say yes or no, no pressure. You don't have to say yes if you don't want to. You just have to be slightly open enough to see what might happen and then move forward from there. That's all. There are no blood oaths. There are no contracts involved in this decision. There's no pressure, right? There's no seriousness going on at all. I hate seriousness. That's the opposite of what a happy life is. No seriousness allowed on my consults. If you come in and you're serious, I'll be like, this won't work. You're too serious. There's only ease and simplicity and clarity as you keep moving along one step at a time. The process of coaching just reveals to you the decisions you are making and the ones you want to start making, right? And then we bridge that gap in order to get you the life you want, the future you want. You make them one at a time. There is no shortcut. There is no get rich quick, but life coaching version. One at a time. That's it. And you make the decisions, not me. I only make my decisions, right? Sometimes clients and friends and spouses, they want me to make their decisions for them because they're like, oh, you're a good coach. What should I do? And I'm like, hell no, I don't know what you should do. It's not my damn business. Hell no, I don't want to make your decisions. That's all your job. I just bring them right back to the truth that's already within themselves. I just lead them back to what they already know. That feels way better than trying to decide for them or trying to give some unsolicited advice. That is not what coaching is. If I'm giving you advice, it's about where to go eat some fine dining because I love that shit. That's the extent. So when you start to tell yourself all of this junk, I don't want to make the wrong decision. I don't know how to decide. There's a lot at stake here. Serious. I'm scared I'll waste my time or my money or my energy. I'm scared it won't work. And then I'll be embarrassed. And then everyone will think I'm wrong and stupid. I'm scared I'll change so much that everything will be different. And what if I don't like it? I'm scared no one will love me anymore if I get help and then I'll be alone. Right? Or I want this to work for me, but I just don't think it will. That would be nice, but it might not work. I want you to question all of these decisions that you have been making in your mind. I want you to notice how they are actually continuing to keep you away from everything you want to create. They are lies your brain is offering you from a place of fear to keep you away from the confidence and the empowerment that you really want. What if there was no such thing as a wrong decision, right? What if there was just the decision you make, the one you make today, one at a time? What if you do know how to decide? What if you've been doing it every year, your entire life, and it's really easy actually? What if it's not going to be as hard or as scary as you've imagined it would be? What if believing it's going to be hard and scary just makes your current experience hard and scary right now? You're creating that right now. What if there's actually more at stake if you never change how you make your decisions? What if there's more to be lost or jeopardized if you keep things the same? What if the real waste would be never taking the risk or betting on yourself at all? What if you not knowing how it will all work out isn't the problem? The problem is you not knowing how to have your own back with the decisions you're already making right now. And you'll never learn how to have your own back until you start making new decisions, until you book that consult. So how many decisions are waiting for you right now? And what are you going to do about it? What are you planning on doing to make them? The same way you've been without the help, right? It's just going to create more of what you're already having. What are all the decisions in your life that you're choosing to stay confused and overwhelmed about? And what if all of that could change? You want to make your decisions quickly and with certainty. You want to build that skill and work that muscle. You want to build it often, practice often, like once a week with your coach, so you can be blown away by the rapid rate of your growth and success. You want every decision you make to build confidence and trust instead of insecurity and second guessing yourself. So where will you be 6 months from now, a year from now, beyond? Who will you be? The decision you're making right now determines that. Do you want an improved future? Do you want the same future, or do you want a worse future? So what will happen if you continue leaving your decisions open-ended today? Do you think this will be the year you finally find that shortcut or the magic pill and it will all work? Or do you think you'll be even more bitter at the end? I know how bitter I was, how resentful I was before I decided something new, right? I was bitter at my past self for not starting sooner. I was bitter at all these past influences for feeling like they had control over me when really they didn't. I was bitter at all the people around me that I just wanted to love, but I didn't know how to process all these hard feelings or how to love myself, so I couldn't love them. You will never move forward until you make a new decision. And if you've never learned how to make a new decision, your life becomes a broken record, right? Same record, same shit. It's kind of obnoxious. No variety, no plot twists, no rich, juicy, delicious life. There's this illusion over your brain that when you don't decide, when you stay confused, then you're marked safe from the pain and the scary stuff. And that's never true. This illusion actually just keeps you further and further away from happiness and closer to fear. When you hang on to the illusions, right, all the sentences that aren't true, you're disconnected from what life is all about. You're confused about the things you want to be clear on. You're behind mentally and physically. You're letting other people control you and make your decisions for you. And then you get mad at them for something you are responsible for. Take a hard look at what your current decision-making process is. Do you question it? Do you doubt it when you make a decision? Do you know how to have your back? Do you honor every decision? Are you clear why you make your decisions before you go and make them? And then do you hold true after the fact to them? Or do you keep allowing these outside factors to question what you already know? Do you make decisions with the full possibility of your future in mind? Or do you make them with the limitations of your past and your trauma in mind? Do you like your reasons for your decisions? Do you even know how to find what your reasons are? The exponential growth and impact that comes from learning how to make quick, honest, and in integrity decisions is life-saving. It puts you in the driver's seat of your life. You can create a new future. You can be more present and intentional and live a kick-ass life. But only if you start today. And I literally mean today, right now, because tomorrow isn't real. Tomorrow, your brain will have a hold on you all over again. You'll fall asleep and wake up with amnesia from everything I just said. Because your brain is designed to stay in its comfort zone, right? Tomorrow is made up just like the countries are. The only thing that is real in this moment are the sentences you're thinking right now, right? So with this momentum, with all of this in mind, fresh and current, take this moment, fucking own it. Feel scared and nervous and inspired, and go book that consult. I only have 6 consult spots for the month of August, and I want you to have your chance. I want you to fight for your future. I want you to get grimy and gritty and resilient and start today. There is no time to waste. I have a client, she's at about 12 weeks, and she's saying, I cannot believe how much has changed in 1 month. Right? The growth is rapid. The relief is instant. And you want to start this today. Why would you wait? Why? Tell me your excuses. They're lies. Decision disease. So go to aliciaturnercoaching.com, click free consult. It's at the top right corner, and schedule your slot. Grab it, take it. It is yours. Your future happiness depends on the decisions you're making today. Okay, my friends. Let's see if there's any questions. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here. If you're interested in learning about what I'm offering, prices, I tell you all of that on the consult, but I will say this. Let me check. I did the math the other day to see what it costs per week, right? A coach per week, because it is so affordable right now. I will say that. It's like $160 a week. That's what it adds up to. I pay a coach and it adds up to about $410 a week. So if you're getting in with me right now, I am extremely affordable. And if you think about the cost of $160 a week for a life coach, for a one-on-one life coach who will help your mental health, your emotional health thrive and up-level your entire life, what is it then? Because it's not the money, right? Going to the fucking grocery store costs $3,000 now. We have the money for our mental and emotional health, so think about this. It is affordable. It is available. What is stopping you? And I want you to look hard at that, because what it is your brain and your decision disease and your inability to get out of the chokehold your brain has over you. I want you to connect with that part of you before you leave this call that knows what you want. Okay, because you can afford this. You can start now, and you want this. I know you do. And you're also getting the fucking quality of all the coaches I pay for. I get a better coach than me because they make me better, right? And you get the cumulative effect of all of my coaching and training that I've had. So this is a steal, friends. I wanted to throw that in there at the end. It's been an honor and a pleasure and a privilege. I hope you have a beautiful day. Again, reach out if you have any questions. I'm happy to talk to you. Also, go listen to Eureka with Alicia. I have a new podcast. It's everywhere. So just go find that. I love you. Bye.